much more of during the musketry demonstration. 2 ammunition pouches having 30 rounds each. Mind you, that rifle can take up to 20 rounds a minute, so those pouches won't last too long if you're out being overwhelmed by the enemy. You have a water bottle here, obviously containing water, and then a bread basket holding a 3 days worth of rations. So if the soldier gets caught, cut from his supply lines, he still has some time until they can reconnect those supply lines. Right turn if you please. And then we have here at the back the valise. Now the valise is the origins of the haversack of the modern day soldier. This is where it all begins. He has everything he needs here. Obviously we're talking about basic kit, meaning spare boots, spare studs, shaving equipment, anything you have need of, and some of them we have examples of here. For example, shaving equipment, the good old trusty cutthroat razor is a bloody sharp knife, and you have to be careful using this, I can assure you. Even, for example, a comb. These were made of bone, most typically, and this would be obviously helping you to take out the odd lice here and there. And then other shaving equipment involving the foaming brush, but more importantly our cutlery. Examples of these cutleries were issued to the Victorian soldier, because since the mid-1850s the Victorian soldier is now being raised from what Wellington described as the scum of the earth to actually becoming a prime fighting force and the pride of any nation or empire in the world. And the soldier, if he's healthy, he is a good fighting man. So the more clean he is, the more healthy, the better a fighting soldier. The British Empire had one of the smallest armies in the world throughout its history, so it had to be very efficient with its soldiers. And apart from cutlery, you'd also have mess tins from which the soldier would eat out of. And also, for example, here we have the example of one of the first multi-purpose knives, which then the Swiss gave it steroids, and we nowadays have the Swiss Army knife, where you actually find anything you need in that. But then, as well, at the bottom, we have the cape or coat, which, if you're across some heavy rain, it's not just spitting, as the British say, you just grab the straps from here, undo them, and put it on top of everything, so obviously you don't get wet. Left turn, please. Now, with the help of my colleague here, Gunner Aquilina, and then you have Mr. Buttigieg here, will be issuing out the orders for the bayonet exercises. We'll be running through the most basic of bayonet drill, because the bayonet drill consisted of around 80 different movements, which go through any eventuality possible found on the battlefield in the last few hundred years. And if there's something new, a new kind of shield, a new kind of sword or horse or spear, it will be then included into the bayonet drill. But we'll be showing you the basics of this, and I'll be explaining more of this exercise when my colleague is actually doing it on the bayonet set. Mr. Buttigieg, please. That's right. Prepare to fix bayonets. Hanks. Shoulder, height, above, head, chair pose, quick, height, forward, height, charge, going hands, on. The on guard is there. As you can see, the soldier opens his leg, goes on low on the knees so as to be able to keep balance. Keeping the balance if something comes his way or needs to counter-attack, always on the spot. When you're fighting this close quarters, the second you lose your balance, that's it for you. And also, the shouting is there to induce the adrenaline into the soldier's body. In the face of less than pleasant enemies to the eye, for example, the Zulus in Africa or other regions in the world, where they are a bit scary. So the shout helps you to get that adrenaline into your body, making you braver and more resolute than you would be otherwise. Hi! Ah! Hi! Ah! Hi! Or, for example, running through trenches in the Crimean War. Trenches were used a lot. For example, the enemy appears over the top, as we know today, and this is how you would deal with him. Hi! Ah! Hi! Ah! On! Hi! Low guard! Low guard is the opposite situation. You're running over the trenches and you need to deal with him. Or if, for example, there's a badly done job on the field and you need to finish him off. Hi! Ah! Hi! Ah! On! Hi! 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 A head parry is when you have cavalry soldiers running around. Now, cavalry do not charge you straight head on. That's only in the movies. Horses don't run into points of steel. So what actually having is the soldiers of the horses running along your line, trying to cut away with you with one of these nasty babies, where you would use the stock of your rifle as a shield to parry away his weapon, then counter-attack him, originally in the armpit, because soldiers had cuirassiers back and breastplates, but when armor was made away with, you just stick him, pull him down, and continue the discussion on ground level. Hi! Ah! Hi! Ah! All right! Shorten arms! Now the shorten arms is when you have the enemy charging your line. Again, you need to hold the line. So what you need to do, since the enemy is running at you, has a lot of momentum, what you need to do, stick yourself as far back as possible on your own spot. When the enemy is in range, or the order comes, you thrust as hard as you can, presenting cold steel to the enemy's chest, and you drop him dead in his tracks, as the saying goes. Hi! Ah! Hi! Ah! All right! Charge your nets! Shoulder hearts! Shoulder hearts! And pricks my nets! Shoulder hearts! Thank you, gents. Any questions regarding the bayonet exercise? Anybody curious about how the bayonet sack feels?